Well, I was very disappointed that I couldn't use the very cool technology for Q&A, so I'm going to go low tech. How many of you are from Singapore? All right. One, I'm stalling for my presentation to come up. Two, I'm seeing how well a joke will go. Okay. So I have the opportunity to head up marketing for Kimberly-Clark across Asia Pacific. And with that opportunity, I've been able to travel across the region in this role. And besides all the wonderful food, I've also picked up a few sayings along the way. I have to say my favorite of all is "can la" here in Singapore. Dang it. The Singapore people are supposed to laugh. But besides that, the other one that I really, really like is "same, same, but different." Has anyone heard that one? Yeah? Let me give you an example. When you're in Australia and you call for a taxi, this is what would come. But when you're in Shanghai or another city in China, you'd call for a taxi, this is what would come. Now contrast that to when you're in Thailand and you call for a taxi, this is what would come. That's same, same, but different. And I usually travel light just in case. So how does this apply to Kimberly-Clark? Well, it means that we believe we must take a very different approach to marketing, even if the trends are the same. Because that notion of being very different depending on what market you're talking about is important. For example, when we think about marketing strategies to increase our brand visibility in store, say in convenience stores, this is what a convenience store in India might look like. And in Malaysia, and in Korea, definitely same, same, but very different. So the same execution wouldn't be able to be put in all three of these. The same can be said for digital technology. For example, if we were to look at doing a mobile program, we'd need to tailor our execution across the region. In Vietnam, it'd have to be very SMS-based. In Indonesia, it would need to be app and web-based. And in China, definitely content. And lastly, when we think about our consumer in her home, the same is important of her family at home. So that's the same, but the difference really is, you know, who lives with her in her home? And what is her home like? How does she run it? And what is her day-to-day routine? As you can imagine, this concept of same, same, but different really applies across our businesses and categories. But we want to first take a look at what some of those same sames are, or mega forces. So those are the mega forces that we see, the same that's going on across the region for our consumer target. These are the basis really for any good marketing plan in our business. However, the value can be amplified when we spend more time on what's different. For example, we saw in the video that confidence of women is growing across the region. That's the same. But it's only when we focus on a market level that we can see the need to express women's confidence differently. So let's take a closer look at Kotex. So I'm going to show you 3 different expressions of confidence and empowerment for Kotex, which is our feminine care brand. And we feel so strongly about being different where it matters that we can even change the look, the sound, and the brand to be more relevant. So let's take a look. In China, we've heard a lot about, culturally the women are on the rise, but the modern Chinese woman is really more empowered and has more freedom to pick and choose those values and think about ways to arm herself to face the world. But it is still not acceptable to be able to openly talk about her period. So in China, there's also 2,000 feminine care brands that are all saying the same thing to her. So we decided to be different and openly talk about the stuff girls don't say. An easy place, as we've heard earlier too, is to have that conversation online. And we created an online video series which starts with some humorous scenes to show the scenarios of stuff girls don't say about their period. And then the star of this series, who is a sophisticated older sister, her name is Dajima, which I'm told is Auntie Flo in Chinese, who has been there before, and she gives women advice in positive direction.
现在是专属于女生们的时间，男生勿入。你有那个吗？丝袜。欢迎来到大姨妈时间。你们看小七女生那个了吗？丫头，想我们是要舒适还是要时尚？露露啊，吉利亚，在公司对女生来说，怎么才能有安全感呢？
我是科学家。
卫生间和男人都很体贴、包容。女的，粉刺、毛孔大、黑眼圈，这是维生素 A、C， 还有 E， 都用的是这个。它是世界上第一个生产，非常的好用，不顺息漏斗。大姨妈用的是高洁丝。
It's always fun to see how many men squirm in their chair. The results of this series has been phenomenal. This series has been seen by over 265 million women. And it's been creating quite the social buzz through tweets, Weibo, and also garnering some media attention both in China, across Asia, and even globally. Most importantly, it's lifted our market share in this very competitive space. Now, contrast that to Malaysia, where women are much less empowered, but it still is not appropriate to openly talk about your period. So we tackled empowerment differently and encouraged women to unleash a social change. What we did to start this social change was to create a 10-part series that was branded entertainment on prime time. And Kotex took 2 best friends and empowered them to make their own mark in their jobs, at home, and with friends. This approach has been so successful that we're about to launch our second series. Now, let's move to the other end of the spectrum in Australia, where women are the most confident and the most empowered. Our brand there, You by Kotex, tapped into a cultural dynamic called fear of missing out.
They're young, they're fun, they have fear of missing out. They're FOMO. No event is too exclusive. No venue too wild. No band too weird for the FOMOs. They're first in and last out. And they pack You by Kotex nude liners in handy purse packs so they can go wherever life takes them. We know you, and you know what works.
So, I'm not able to talk to you about all 4 of these mega forces today, but I would like to give you one more example, and that would be about the last force, participation. As marketers in Asia, we're all under pressure to engage with our audiences, and women are under pressure too in their daily lives. They're time poor, they don't necessarily trust brands that are new to them, and there's so much more available to them now that participation is really, in Asia, what becomes the new currency. So, we'll take a look at 3 different kinds of participation that we are doing with women and their families, and I'll see if I can get everyone to squirm with our bath tissue Scott in Thailand, and Kotex Style for young women in Vietnam, and Kleenex perennial wipes. That's wipes for your bottom. So, in Thailand, first, we knew that moms are the center of the household, and she really values bringing her family the best. And trust could be earned with her if we participated with them and their families. Our difference was creating a program where moms asked their kids to count to 3. And that would be 3 sheets of Scott Extra Care when going to the restroom. So that's all that was needed of this product because it was such a quality product, a big change. The core engagement mechanism was this fun dance where we helped them count to 3, both in store and in the restroom. So across Thailand, mom and kids participated by making these fun videos of their kids counting to 3. In Vietnam, most fem care brands don't address the real issues that young women face as they're growing up. And these girls really are seeking guidance on how to be more individual. So Kotex Style, our brand there, created a movement that allowed these young women to participate and actually help remove societal labels. In this, there isn't any sound here, but that's okay. In this program, basically we had a lot of points of interaction with the consumer. So in television, we broke some of the labels, those are labels on her arm, and showed girls through a music video and interaction, which actually received a lot of views online, of these 3 girls that represented the different types of societal labels. And as they went through with flash mobs, with different events online, the girls could actually vote for the best music video and one of the stars. So that's been very successful for us. And the mass participation of market share actually grew 3% in a very short amount of time. Okay, last one. So now everybody knows that the only way to drive participation in China is online, as we've been hearing all day. And so while we're following that same, we're doing it a little bit differently. We use the hit game show, if you know it, The Voice, and put a little Gangnam Style dancing in there, as well as some Chinese memes, so that they all came together to challenge a better way to wipe. So the toilet humor was about the different choices you could have of, that you can use to wipe. but the participation was really about voting on those choices. And we created videos that were very interactive at multiple levels and allowed the viewer to actually play along. And this was the first time a multi-interactive video had been done in China. Within 2 weeks, our content became the highest branded video trending on YouTube. This type of participation also saw our sales double on the new Kleenex perennial wipes. And that is same, but different. So we feel that we absolutely see a big difference in being different, and that's our way forward. As we think about people, we're going to put 98% of our marketing folks and our marketing guts right in country, locally. So they're closest to the consumer and the shopper. When we think about investment, 100% of our marketing investment is going to be done locally. That means creating really local relevant programs that connect with the consumer there. Of course, we're going to consider ideas from around the globe, but we'll steal them and execute them locally. And for communications, the importance and the usage of all of these channels will be different in every market. And we're going to purposely use each one of these channels based on the tasks that we have at hand. And with that, I would say thank you very much.
And thank you. Michelle Froah from Kimberly-Clark.